What's up? What's up? Thanks for coming back through. Glad that you're here. Appreciate you. As you can tell, I'm back on the road, and so I figured I'd do another review from the road immediately when I got a pair of shoes. This is a special pair because of where I'm at and why I'm there. I am at the New Balance National Indoor Track Meet. I am coaching a couple of my athletes here in Boston, cold, not so sunny Boston, but nonetheless, facilities are beautiful. I'm happy to be here, having a great time. And New Balance, they have a national championship store set up right inside their company store, which is on campus. I wasn't aware of how massive New Balance was in terms of the footprint that they have in Boston. They've got a new headquarters. We are competing at the track at New Balance. And so all you do is you say, hey, I'm trying to get to New Balance, and everybody points in the direction of where you're going. So it's kind of amazing. But they set up this store, complete with a few visuals and a few things that are pretty awesome inside the store. And then they had some things on sale, and they were releasing new material, releasing new product. And I was stoked to be able to see a couple things and get my hands on something. So today we are going to be looking at the Fuel Cell Propel V4. Now, I wasn't aware of V1 through 3. Call it Star Wars, starts with episode 4 for me. The thing that was really cool about this shoe for me is the prediction I have long since made that the carbon fiber runners, the plated runners, even if it's nylon, the plated runners are going to a more specific area. And for those of us who have multi-use with these shoes, the multi-use runners are what everything is filtering down into, but we've all become accustomed to the stability factor of having some kind of rigidity to the shoe. You all know my affinity for the Adistar CS. The Adistar CS for me is made by its energy drive. And yeah, I haven't reviewed this color yet for you, but it's dope. It's super dope. Right on time, New Balance comes with something very similar. So, New Balance actually has a plate inside this shoe that is more for rigidity and stability than it is for all-out speed. You are looking at a double stack of foam, nice airy engineered mesh, great lockdown, a lot of the features that come with their higher end running shoes. So let's do what we do. Let's get into upper, midsole, outsole. We'll talk a little bit about the plate, and we'll maybe compare it a little bit to what I saw in the store and what they've offered so far, because this was perfect for me. For the upper, I'll start out with the most obvious part, which is this new Balance N. Now, we've all become accustomed to the N on the side of a New Balance shoe, but they've kind of made this one into a functional logo. It's always kind of been a functional logo, but it's come and gone. Older shoes like the 574 have a big N, and it's tied in directly, in the path of the laces. But now they've got this strapping that is fused onto the material. And so it is playing a direct role in the support now, which is kind of cool. It's become their sort of Adidas 3 stripes. The swoosh is not functional ever, but Adidas 3 stripes was meant to be. New Balance kind of has that now with their striping system on the end. Kind of cool. Okay, laces are flat, fused eyelets. So some structure there. It pulls up around the foot very good. It is not gilly. The tongue is actually not gusseted. I'm actually going to do what I did with my Adistar CS, and I'm going to gusset the tongue myself by sewing the tongue to the upper side of the medial. And that'll keep the tongue from sliding. You do have a couple of spots, on the tongue where you can loop some laces in, but It doesn't really work all that well, in my opinion. It still slides over until it catches the laces. I like my tongues to stay in place. Engineered mesh, so very airy. Looks kind of like a 2-layer mesh system with a pattern. That upper layer that bears the pattern is actually very, very open. So I would suspect that there's lots of airflow going through them. Many brands are doing that same thing where they are rolling the upper material, no stitches to interrupt or cause any rubbing or cause any damage to the skin or uncomfortability. Regular insole is somewhat padded, more so than most insoles, but it's nothing special. If you have an orthotic, there's plenty of room because, again, the fit is more like a regular shoe. There's nothing specialized about it in terms of making it so specific that it doesn't fit a lot of feet. This shoe is going to be an awesome, awesome trainer for people. All right, let's get into that midsole. We got some cool features on it. This is a double stack of fuel cell. So, you know, I'm not sure what the stack height is on these more pedestrian runners. They typically don't tell you. But if I had to guess, I would guess it's somewhere in the upper to mid 30s, going down to low 30s. So the drop doesn't seem very drastic, but I'd say you're getting about 6 to 8 millimeters of drop. Somebody who knows the specifics, check me on that and let us know down in the comments. But it is a true double stack. So you are getting some stack height. You are getting a really, really comfortable ride. And you can feel it. It's fuel cell all the way. Now the formulation, I did learn at the New Balance store tonight, the formulation of fuel cell changes just like Boost does for Adidas. The Rebel was actually softer, and I almost bought the Rebel. They had some really great colors. Wasn't as plain as this one, so I'm like, oh, let me check the Rebel out. I want to see how it feels. That one felt like a house shoe, like a slipper compared to this one, only because the Rebel was squishy. The formulation of fuel cell was a little more like the higher end runners on the Rebel, but it had no plate, it had no structure. You could fold it, bend it, twist it. You need a really rigid foot to wear that Rebel. The Propel, however, I don't know what it is. The formulation is slightly different. It's not nearly as squishy. It's not translucent either. We're used to seeing fuel cell be translucent. This one is not translucent. Just an interesting little tidbit. Don't know what that means. I didn't dig deep enough. If somebody knows, again, let us know down in the comments. Let's get to what we really... Oh, wait. There's a couple more things. It's got this really interesting flare on the back. Now, that plays into what New Balance has very typically done over the last 5 to 10 years. They have shaped, more so than shaping their forefoot like most companies do, they have been shaping their rear foot. So that crash pad is shaped a certain way to sort of guide you through the process of landing and rolling. That's really, really interesting. Outsole, copious amounts of rubber, very good looking traction as it rolls forward. You can already tell I've worn mine out a little bit. I was excited to get them on. Kind of this checkerboard racing flag pattern. Not sure how grippy it is, but felt pretty good while I had it on foot. And then right there in that midsole, going all the way to the toe, and you can even see it on the outside of the toe there. That outside of that toe section, you can still see that orange. And then going all the way through that midfoot, that racing pattern is still in there. But it's rigid and it seems to cover a lot of area. Now, they didn't call it nylon. They didn't call it, it's definitely not carbon fiber. But my guess is that it's just a simple plastic rigidity plate to help stabilize the I almost said the fresh foam. Whoopsie. To stabilize the fuel cell, which needs some stabilization. It's a little bit mushy, no matter the formulation. So the fact that they have this plastic plate in there very similar to the Energy Drive there. It's just a little something to democratize, I keep saying that word, but these shoes are more democratic. It democratizes plate technology for the average Joe. That makes this a fantastic shoe. Like, I'm really, really stoked for you all to maybe try this. If somebody already has it, let me know. But that is the New Balance Fuel Cell Propel. It's a pretty dope shoe. Interested to get some workouts in it. It feels really good on foot. I got the plain model so that I could wear it with lots of stuff. As you can tell, I gave him some extra money and got myself a hoodie to match. But yeah, I wish they had a little bit brighter color. The Rebel had this really sick yellow, and I almost bought it simply for the color, but I had to be smart. I must be getting mature in my old age. Thank y'all for coming back through. I appreciate it. I actually love doing ones when I'm on the road like this. So whenever I travel, I'm going to try and get an episode in like this. It's been really great reading all the comments and interacting with all of you over the last couple weeks. You all have really stepped your game up in the comments, and I appreciate it so very much. We'll keep making them if you'll keep watching them. All right, peace.